I heard Ted say Kathy and then I heard Brian say Kathy. Well, it's understandable. I was married to
Kathryn too.
I was married to a couple of them too, so.
It's easy for me to say
One's enough.
Kathy.
Maybe two in there.
Third time I didn't do that. So.
Okay, you learn.
I'm gonna give folks a few minutes.
Okay.
Carol, did you bring any material with you?
I do have some material. Thank you. It's gonna wait and see what you guys might want to have.
If you share something with you, I'm not a member of the club, but I wanted to attend because of your nonprofit.
Yeah.
I have never heard of it before, but it's of interest to me. And I was hoping to take something from our meeting that I can share with other folks.
Yes, absolutely. So.
I'm fully retired and Tom and Maria, we do some volunteer work for an organization called Streetwise,
Yes.
which is a non.
Yeah, I know Tracy very well.
Okay, so he was one. I saw Tracy this week. I mentioned to him that I'd be attending this meeting. I couldn't remember the name of your nonprofit.
Oh, okay.
And he told me that he's for nonprofit homeless groups already partnering with Streetwise.
Yeah, so
That's wonderful.
he helps us out. He lets the families who graduate from our program go and get food a month. And
Sure.
also if we have a week where we don't have, where we don't have churches signed up to serve and we need some food at the shelter that we have, then this is where all my pens are. I don't have my chip clips. And he lets us go and grab some produce and other things like that. So
Yeah. Streetwise definitely has the food to share. So we kind of look for more avenues and programs to participate.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. So okay, everybody gets a koozie. If you want one, my chip clips.
Forgot to bring my beer.
Hey, it's also for salt. It's also for water.
So this was a six-pack trip over here tonight.
Yeah.
You're still on the way back home.
See, I know why I bring my drink.
Now, if y'all want a pen, I got pens. If y'all want any pen? Free pens for everyone.
Brian, you're missing out, buddy.
Sorry, Brian.
Pays to come to me, Brian.
It does pay. This is my, two favorite things to get at any free table is, a chip clip or a pen. I like that. Everything else. Yeah, I can get some, I can go to the car and get you guys some later. I thought that both of those were.
Is this something you taught?
Brian, did somebody try to log on?
Yeah.
Carol, is this something you're passing?
And,
No,
No,
okay.
it's our.
not that I can see.
Probably,
Okay. But,
you can
see-
think that I read that.
make sure I didn't miss somebody.
What area do you live in, Ted?
I'm in Tequila.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're close to Streetwise.
Oh, yeah, I can be up there easy in 15 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'll
Plus.
be here at least one day. Yeah, two or
Okay.
three.
And what church do you attend? Or you would love it?
Ivy Creek Baptist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just met with Steve Parr from the Gwinnett Metro Atlanta, the Gwinnett Metro Southern Baptist. Are y'all Southern Baptist or are you, are y'all? Yeah.
We were in Methodist church for about 10 years and left it a couple of years ago and
Okay.
couldn't make sure they didn't recognize some things that were okay that I didn't agree with. So
Yeah, where were you?
At Hamilton Mill.
Hamilton Mill, okay, yeah. So I hate that that's happening with all the churches. And I think it's just so, when everyone's been there for, as a family for so long, and then you see everything just part, you're like, ah.
That denomination is really splitting, you know,
Mhm.
over some key issues and so.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we're attending the Baptist church. We haven't really joined, but we've been attending there for a couple of years.
Okay, wonderful. And is that in Tequila?
Yeah, actually Buford. It's just on Gravel Springs Road. It's near the Mall of Georgia. Ivy
Okay,
Creek is.
all right.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
the big church? Is that the big church?
Well,
Or
right
all
now,
the
they're
construction
right now
is?
they're putting the warehouses all around it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
good sized church.
yeah.
They just expanded it earlier this year. It'll seat 800 folks now. Yeah, it's actually.
Yeah, we,
Plus-
Dee and I
plus
were
they-
talking about that, what that must be like to have all those warehouses just
Yeah,
crowd up around.
it's gonna be church, even though it's larger, it's gonna be dwarfed now by those 3 million square feet warehouses there.
Right, we should start, buddy, because Maria's got to leave at 7.
All right,
She's here.
very well. Um,
Just my 2 cents worth. You don't have to listen to me.
thanks, Tom. Good evening, folks, and welcome to this meeting of the Lawrenceville Lions Club for the second meeting of the month of February. My name is Brian Donegan, president. Great to have you with us, and we'll get started here.
Or you should know we're
If you
recording
would-
so that he
Tom?
can see us there. I'm sorry.
Tom, if you could lead us in the pledge, and Maria, would you lead us in an invocation?
Okay,
All right. Please rise. Here's the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God, thank you for our health. Thank you for quiet and peace for everyone. We thank you for allow us be here. And we pray for health for our friends and family. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. You may be seated.
I'm sorry, I can't pray in Romanian.
You did great.
In English, no.
You did wonderful.
I'm not
Should have
very-
done it in Romanian.
That would have been awesome.
And especially I thanks
You want to
God
our heads?
for my
No, we're-
grandson today.
Uh,
Yeah, he
Uh,
has moved and they allow him
do we have
in Romanian. Thanks.
do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Second,
So moved.
so
All right, all
And
in
a
favor?
second. We have a
signify by saying
motion and
aye.
a second. Aye.
I
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries and the agenda is approved. We're gonna table the tail twister because our tail twister is not here. So that brings us to the secretary's report. Do we have a motion to um,
So moved.
yeah, is there a second to move along and approve the secretary's report?
say second.
All right,
We got it.
all right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Thank you, Tom, for your great work. Tom, would you introduce our guest tonight?
Carol, I'm gonna apologize. I should have gotten that bio
Oh,
first. Would you mind telling us a little bit about you?
I would love to. So I am born and raised in Gwinnett County. I have obviously lived here my whole life and seen a lot change. Grew up in both Lawrenceville and Lilburn and went to Greater Atlanta Christian School. That's where my parents both taught. And from there, I ended up going to 3 colleges while I decided to figure out what I was going to do. I ended up graduating from University of Georgia with an accounting degree and went and worked at Ernst & Young, one of the big 4 accounting firms in their fraud and investigative dispute services group. So I got to, was like CSI account. I worked there in 2009 when I actually got laid off, which to me was a huge blessing. Because it was able to put me into the work that I do now. So while I was unemployed, I started volunteering at the Neighborhood Co-operative Ministry, formerly the Norcross Co-op. And from there, they recommended me for a job at Must Ministries, which is similar to a co-op over in Cobb County. And I was hired to expand their summer lunch program into the county and did that for a little bit. And it was just, that was a summer job. And then at the end of that, Family Promise of Gwinnett hired me for the first time as their Salt Lake Center director. And they had me put together a program for single women and women with children that were experiencing homelessness, and it would be an emergency shelters. They could stay up to 7 days while they try to figure out what their next step was. In 2014, I had my son, and I was thankfully able to find a job where I could work from home. And did that for an executive recruiter. It was a small company called Wilbanks Partners, and I did asset wealth management, executive search, but on the administrative side. So then that work is kind of feast or famine, and we were kind of experiencing a famine. And so my hours kept getting cut, and I would send out little Mayday prayer texts to my prayer partners, and I was like, please pray we get some work. And I had a friend call me and say, Carol, I think you're limiting yourself in this job. Like, you think that God can only provide for you in this stay-at-home position where you can have flexibility to spend time with your son. And she told me to apply for places, and this job came up, and I've always loved Family Promise of Gwinnett. I was able to come back into really my dream job as the executive director. And so I've been here since August 2019. So I got some fun times going through COVID.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a little bit about me. I am married. I just got remarried back in November of 2021. Nice little Hallmark story that God gave me. And I have a 9-year-old son. So he attends Parkview Christian, which is a wonderful little school. And we love to camp. So I am a camping person. We are setting up for a rooftop tent.
So you're a tent camper.
We are tent campers. Yeah.
They got a Jeep?
He has a Toyota Tundra. And it's got one of the camping tops on it. And we just hit 300,000 miles on his 05 Tundra.
Wow.
So he was like, I'm going to trade it in. And it is so expensive right now. We actually feel like it was the Lord, because at this last campsite, we went to Black Rock. There was a woman who was walking her dog, and she saw his truck, and she's like, that's an 05 Tundra, isn't it? I miss my 05 because she traded up for, like, I don't know, 2015. And she says she's missed that ever since. And I was like, that's a sign. Let's just keep this right now. We'll keep it going. And he just wants a 4-wheel drive. He only has a 2-wheel. But yeah, so we're tent campers, and now we're rooftop tent campers. So we're saving up for the iCamper, which is insane. But it's like the Denali of rooftop tents. But if we were going to do it, we're going to save. And so
I see school bus camper.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. When we were in Florida, stuck in Florida, remember?
Yeah.
I've seen those.
Yeah, we have young couple with dogs. They transform school bus in camper. You know what? I bet was a lot of work there to fix everything and make camper like comfortable and that, but
It's amazing what you can do with those things. So that's neat.
Very, very, very the career path so far.
I have, and God has used
From-
all of it.
One of the big accounting firms to
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. So
So well prepared for executive director.
you know what, he did. An accounting degree is a really good degree to have, because and you're able to understand how every part of a business works. And
One of the members here tonight is Kathryn, and she's a CPA, isn't she? It's Kathryn.
I don't know if Kathryn is. She does be.
Yeah,
bookkeeping.
Yes.
She is,
I know she's gonna regret not having a chance to meet you.
but she does go back and watch these videos. So.
Oh, wonderful. Hello, Kathryn. Not Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Not Kathy, Kathryn.
Yes.
But yeah. Well, thank you very much for letting me come and talk to you guys about what we're doing. And so I'll just go ahead
Sure.
and dive in. Okay.
Go ahead.
So, all right, thank you, Brian. So for those, if I'm not sure who's familiar with Family Promise, but Family Promise of Gwinnett, we've been around since 2004, serving families with children experiencing homelessness. We are one of 200 affiliates of a Family Promise National located in New Jersey that opened in 1986. And traditionally, we had an innovative approach of how to help families who are experiencing homelessness. And we partner with a network of congregations where in the past we had a rotation program where churches would take in our families, they change 3 classrooms into bedrooms, provide all the needs, all the volunteers for the week, and they would turn their facility into an overnight shelter for our families. And it was an innovative approach for counties that don't allow for shelters. We were able to provide shelter for families within congregations who can choose how they want to do their admissions, right? But for we would have about at least 12 churches in this network. And so for 1 week, we go to a Baptist church, the next week a Methodist church, the next week an Episcopal church. And so it was wonderful because it really was the kingdom of God being able to come together and meet the needs of the least of these. And so families could, so that's how we ran before COVID. When COVID hit, obviously the churches were asked to close their doors, and then we found ourselves without a home for our program. And so we have a new place called Promise Haven, which is right down the road off of Moon Road, that we worked with the city of Lawrenceville to get rezoned. And we are the first official shelter for families experiencing homelessness in the city. So we now have a facility that we bring our families to, which is nice because they're not having to rotate all the time. Now, our mission is to mobilize communities and congregations to help end homelessness one family at a time. And I mentioned how we work with partners with churches in order to do that. Obviously, we were taking a mission trip to their 4 walls, but now with our new home called Promise Haven, churches and volunteers come and do a mission week and come and serve families at Promise Haven. So Promise Haven is our overnight shelter. We really are a shelter program. And we say that the shelter is a means to our program. So what is our program? Our program is we work with up to 3 families at a time. So we have enough to house 3 families. And we provide that shelter specifically for the children. We're able to take care of those innocent victims of homelessness. We focus on making sure, you know, we call ourselves Family Promise. We promise to keep your family together while you're experiencing homelessness. And we're hoping to provide a safe place and loving place for those kids while we do that. And that's what the congregations and volunteers are able to do, is that encouragement and love at Promise Haven, while we work with the families and help them meet their goals of making money, saving money, and finding housing. And so we have a 30-day program up to 90 days where we take a look at what the parent's situation is, what are their needs. Sometimes they come into the program without a job, so we're going to immediately start job searching. Sometimes they come in and they have a job, and then we focus on savings as well as making sure we pay off debt. Obviously, as an accountant, financial stuff is huge for me. And so one of the things that they have to do is, you know, create a budget as well as submit what their financials are each week. And we go through and we see what's frivolous spending. While they're in the program, the expectation is that they aren't spending frivolously. the wonderful thing about our congregations is they provide all the needs that the families have. So they're providing all the food. They're providing the volunteers for them to stay overnight. And if it's diapers, wipes, whatever it is, that is a need. Our churches and donors really help us get that, which is amazing. And so our expectation is you're not paying for food, you're not paying for housing. Let's put all of this over into savings. Get that nice $1,000 emergency fund and then build up some more, as well as putting down a down payment for, your apartment, first month's rent and stuff. So a deposit. But that's kind of what we do. We try to help our families become stable and be able to give back into the community. We partner with churches because they provide community for our families when they when they don't really have one. When you find yourself in a situation like this, you end up, kind of burning all of your bridges. And so it's natural. I mean, a congregation is all about community. So they get to come in there and love on them. So we have volunteer opportunities 365 days a year. We have volunteers come out from the community and get plugged into serving with the church all in the evening. So we call ourselves a hospitality program. And so our volunteers are hosts and the people that we serve are our guests. And so we have evening hosts come in the evening from 6 to 8:30 p.m. and they open the facility and fellowship.
Hey, Kathryn.
Hey, Kathryn.
Hello, Michelle.
Hi.
Oh, thank you, dear. How are you?
Good. I'm Carol Love.
Carol, so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm wrapping up here and I don't know how much time I have, by the way.
Don't forget,
We usually do about 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
Hi, Kathryn.
Questions and answers.
Okay.
I bring downstairs everything what I bring.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good.
So with that, so we have the church aspect. Promise Haven is where all of our volunteer opportunities are. We need people to come in from 6 to 8:30 p.m. To fellowship, open the house, ensure. Promise Haven also is a life skills program that they're doing their life skills, which are, cleaning the house up, preparing your lunch in the evening so that you're not going and buying McDonald's last minute because you forgot to prepare. So it's all about preparing and giving them life skills to be able to be productive when they leave. So we have the evening host. We ask people to provide dinner, a hot meal, so people are able to cook in their own home. And then on Friday and Saturday nights, we need overnight volunteers when our house manager has off. And so typically in the past, when it went to the churches, we needed all of those volunteer slots every week, but now it's not as much. So we're loving what's happening at Promise Haven. We've had an exciting success story just this month, two that are really awesome. We had a girl come into our program and within 30 days, she saved $3,000 and she was working really great. And we have one transitional house that we lease from Prospect UMC for $1 a year. We also lease Promise Haven for just $1 a month, which is great. So we're all about utilizing existing resources, and churches will partner with us and give us what they call a de minimis lease. But this woman, she had a 15-year-old son. Her history was there was a homicide. For her husband lost his life. And she found herself just in this cycle of becoming homeless. And she comes into the program and she had said, she's like, I never thought I could do it on my own, but now I feel like that, because she focused on making money and saving money. So she'd already come in with a job. And so we saw the potential in her. We knew that she needed a little bit more time, but didn't need as much assistance in the Promise Haven house. So she moved into our transitional house. And after 6 months, on Saturday, they just moved into their own apartment.
That's awesome.
So her son
Oh,
also is a go-getter. He's 15 and goes to work. He was going to work while he was in the program. And it's just, he's going to be a little entrepreneur. But another one, I have a girl in the program right now. She came in, she's a manager at a company. And she was stuck in hotels and just that cycle of hotels, $400 a week. And she called, she's like, I'm just stuck in this cycle and I need some help. The girl's also already been through Dave Ramsey, so she's fun to work with. And I mean, she's got a different way of budgeting, like a flow chart, the way that she budgets her bills each, she gets paid weekly.
Okay.
And she just got her tax return, which is, I love having them in the program when they get their tax return because they get a lot. And so she had 10 grand.
Wow.
So she has built her savings to $5,300. She paid off debt to where all of her credit cards were under 30%. So these next two paychecks we focused on, I'm like, all right, you hit your debt here. Let's get rid of all 4 of these credit cards. So then you only have 1. Then let's focus on savings. But this girl, I'm going to move into my transitional house because she's just about ready.
It's awesome.
But it's been fun to see how when you focus on the goals of the program and you do what the life skills program is at Promise Haven, the success can be done within 90 days. So are you familiar with Family Promise? A little bit. So we're basically, we're a program that helps families who are experiencing homelessness, and we have a shelter, an overnight shelter. So, okay, so there's my 10 minutes, right? Or over, because I guess I
Yes.
spent 5 talking about myself.
Does anybody have any questions for Carol?
You may have covered this already, but how many can you help in the shelter, the overnight shelter?
3 families up to 11 people.
Okay, and then the program house that you mentioned, how many families in that?
The transitional house is 1 family.
One family at a time.
And they have a program fee that they pay. So
Okay.
when you go to the transitional house, you start
I send
paying
you picture.
a fee so that you can get used to
Yeah,
paying the
Kathryn.
rent. And part of that program fee goes, 20% of that fee goes to
Apologize for that, but I need to. leave.
goes to savings.
Okay.
I hear that you're an accountant.
I
Do you like to join boards?
It's been a while.
We need a new treasurer. So.
She's great.
She's
That's
aw-
always
she's
good.
awesome.
She's our
She's awesome.
treasurer.
She's
She's a
awesome.
great treasurer.
I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Kathryn, there's my car. We should have one.
Thank you, Maria. We'll take
He
it.
told, so I'm an accountant. I got my degree and went and worked at Ernst.
God bless you.
But that's, yes, he did. And I got laid off and I've never been back. So I got into ministry.
I totally understand that. No, like I said, I'm not a CPA. Like I said, my path, I work mostly with corporations, so that's kind of where I focus my niche is prepping businesses for their corporate taxes.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I have served as the treasurer now for 3 nonprofits.
Oh,
Over
well,
my 25-year career. I would love to, except that I got handed back the treasurership of this organization.
oh.
Pass it back.
Unfortunately, I can't. Fortunately, so I
Wow.
came off the board here. We transitioned to a new treasurer, and unfortunately, she had a horrible family loss, and
Mhm.
it was just, like I said, it's overwhelming. So since my name was still on the signing card at the bank, so
Yes.
guess what?
Yes,
Kathryn
you're
becomes
back.
treasurer. So
Mhm. Yeah, I understand that. Okay.
But Carol, if you don't mind, your house is open, it opens up at 6 o'clock at night, is that it? And then does the guests have to leave at, say, 8 o'clock the next morning?
Yeah,
And be out on the street again?
7:30. They're not ever out on the street. We actually have our day center, which is it's over on the campus of First Christian Church in Lawrenceville. And we lease that for $1 a month as well. And that has our offices as well as an area for the family. So if they don't have a job, the expectation is we're getting you trained to be out working. It's not, if you stay at Promise Haven, if you stay there, you can get sucked into a depression. So we're constantly moving them. So
Doing
them-
this, prep them with resumes and how to interview for jobs.
yeah, and we partner with a
kind of job
lot of
skills.
social service agencies. Goodwill is actually an amazing organization because they're all about getting people to work. They have a great career center.
What about childcare for those with infants and preschool kids? Is
So
that
they
provided by the churches or?
Unfortunately, no, but we work with them to get their government benefits for that. And then obviously the first barrier is finding childcare. And if we have funding, we can assist in some of that. But at that point, like if they're in school, when they're in school, that's fantastic. But always we could dream big and what kind of childcare center we could potentially have. There's no telling what direction Family Promise is going to go in, but that's one of the things we work with them to find that. And when they are homeless, then that can speed up the benefits process a lot. So they want them to be able to work. And, yeah, so
How can we find out more about maybe volunteer opportunities?
that right there, I will give you my card, and Mitzi is our
'Cause I volunteer at another homeless organization, but it's out of state. It's in Murphy, North Carolina.
oh, okay.
We provide,
Oh, yeah.
you talk about your guests preparing, having an evening meal. Is that a group meal or does each family have their own opportunity to fix their own?
It's a group meal, so somebody outside, it's just like fellowship,
Okay,
come
yeah.
and they get a nice feast given to them, so.
That's-
They do the same Eagle Ranch too, because I know my mom has done dinners for the family house at Eagle Ranch. So
Yeah.
the Florida Ranch. That's cool.
Yeah, so then we also have, we also have our, we need people in our office to answer phone. We need people on different committees. We have our PR, our finance committee, our, raising committee. And I know there's others that are facilities committee.
Okay, well, I think I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah.
And my wife and I can kind of visit with you. Get
Absolutely.
in someplace, because we're both retired and
We would love that.
I'd like to do something.
What's your background, Ted?
Well, I was a bank examiner for like 34 years. I got a management degree, but a minor in accounting. So
My next treasurer.
well, I could, I'm just about blind. That's no problem. I can't, my eyes are just shot.
Yeah.
And at my age, it's, I'd be overwhelmed trying to fill out forms anymore and using the computer. But I can certainly answer phones or I can do some, other work around
We
there.
would love
I would
that.
hope.
We really need people in our office. We lost 90% of our volunteers, I would say, in COVID. And so building it back up has been, I have a community engagement who is helping me, and we need help in New.
Sometimes those are my hard luck. It's times are so tough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, come hang out with us, you and your wife.
I think you're.
May I have one?
I love that. Yes, I'm sorry.
No, that's what I get for being late to the party.
Wow.
Feels sick.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
do you happen to know Carol Jones with, Higher Living?
No.
She's here in Lawrenceville. And unless her business model changed, she started that group to train and help put, like single moms or folks that are coming out of bad situations into jobs. So probably
I would love for you to connect me with her.
I'll do my best. The last couple times I've reached out to her, I hadn't heard back from her. She and her brother used to own a business and I did their books for them for
Okay.
years. But she started this venture a couple of years back, but I know they're still here in Lawrenceville.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. So, but I haven't, when you talk about mention working with hiring agencies, that popped in my head. I'm like, I couldn't think of the name of the business. Like, where are you, Cindy? But yeah, they're pretty amazing. Like I said, she was posting stuff today. That's why she was on my mind about jobs they have open.
I'm curious what you did for Wilbanks. You were recruiting admin people?
No.
I was say you would be incredible at recruiting.
I would love to recruit at some point. No, God had me in a different position at that time. I was doing administrative work for George Wilbanks. He's a recruiter of C-level executives in the asset wealth management arena. So, I always am intrigued with where God takes me in serving the bottom 1% to the top 1%. And everybody needs something. Like recruiting actually is a really good service opportunity to help someone find their next place, like What's the next?
In the movie Dave,
What's in that?
Ted Klein,
I don't think I've seen that one.
he becomes president because he looks like the president.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Remember, he was temp agency. Everybody works on Friday. That was his mantra. Everybody works on Friday.
What world is he in?
I know, right? Seriously.
They wanted to have some money for the weekend, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe it was everybody works on Monday, but it was, you had a day. Everybody works today.
Yeah.
He was always pitching somebody.
Any,
So I, sorry,
what, time for one more question, for Carol, if there is any.
Well, if anybody has any other questions and ways to get involved, in ways Lions Club can get involved, I'm not sure what kind of volunteer work you guys are all doing out into the community, because I'd love to learn more about that. But, we have different events throughout the year. We're always looking for people to do donation drives and everything. One great thing that we do is kind of Night Without a Bed, which is someone being willing to sign up to sleep without a bed and kind of raise awareness and raise funds for Family Promise of Arnette. So we've had a lot of fun with this virtual fundraiser. And basically, it's kind of like a Susan B. Corman walk, where it's like, support me in this and help me in homelessness for a family. And so we give people who sign up, we're like, here's your $500 goal. Once you reach it, sleep in your bed.
Right.
So
Once you march of diamonds.
once you reach that, yeah, you feel free to sleep in your bed unless you'd like to experience a nice night without a bed. Some people do and some people don't, but that's one way, people can always get back in different ways, not necessarily if it might not be at the house, but in whatever way that they can. And so y'all can always consider that and just get in touch with me. And
Most of your funding come from the church communities?
it does. So I just now applied for a grant. Did one government grant this last year and we got it. It's amazing. And so I've applied for another grant, but God has been very faithful that we have sustained on the events, basically individuals, churches, and we've had a very faithful volunteer base to where we're now just getting to grants. So
It's such a fun arena.
I just hired someone that works with students.
We absolutely appreciate what you do, Carol, and we appreciate you coming to visit with us. If you'd like to stick around for the rest of the meeting, you are absolutely free to do so. But if you need to head back for home, that's okay too.
I do have to run home because my son is coming home. So yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate that. And does anybody else want any of these?
I'd like to have.
Hey, yeah, take 2 of them. That'd be great. Yeah, contact me. I would love for you to come. And I'll get you connected with Mitzi as well, so that we can all meet and see how y'all can get funded.
We'll find some place to work.
Yes, thank you. And would y'all like me to bring some chip clips in?
Oh, I'm okay.
I don't think so.
I have a million. My husband loves to collect stuff like that. So we have
Oh, yeah.
boxes everywhere.
The chip clips are.
Okay, this is an odd question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Do you all have need of individually wrapped plastic silverware? Like you get at restaurant takeout, like, with the.
But we use it sometimes. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, I got a big old box full that my husband's been hoarding apparently for the last couple of years, and I didn't know it.
You know what?
His mom got him into that habit as a kid.
Just from saving. Right.
It was always like, pull out the plastic silverware, I don't wanna wash dishes. So, but we got a ton of it,
Carol goes camping a lot.
I do go camping a lot.
Hey,
Oh my goodness, you should see our setup. I don't have plastic utensils anymore.
You don't wash dishes every day.
I do.
Oh, no.
But I've gotten to where I don't do too much. But yes, and you know what? Because we can use those at events, like our night without a bed. We
Sure.
do a cookout
There
on
you
that
go.
night that we say.
I will
without
make
a
sure we
bed.
get those your way. I've been, you would not believe, I have called so many places asking, you know, if they could, that said on their website that they take those donations, and I call them like, I have a box, like the size of like a ream of paper, a case of paper,
Yeah,
just full. And they're like, no. I'm like, come on.
I don't mind taking that at all. And plus we can use that at Promise Haven because if they're doing their lunches and stuff, they
Yeah,
have some.
it's nice to be able to pack that and it's all set and ready to go.
All right. you
And I will
guys.
take you up on the lunch offer list. Let me get my crazy under control with the end of tax season and we'll definitely do
Oh,
that.
yeah, after April for sure. My sister's a tax accountant. So she is a CPA and she does
God bless her.
do the tax stuff for the guy she works with, but.
No, never had the love of that piece of it. I don't mind
Oh,
doing
me
the corporate
neither.
work. I don't mind doing the work papers and handing it off and let
I
somebody.
don't like
else
doing
do it.
any of it.
So why don't you go that route?
It's what I loved. I love saying that I felt like I was not on God's path. I was seeking after material things. I knew that I could buy a Louis Vuitton when I worked at Ernst & Young, and that I'd always have a job and I make good money and I could travel. So I traveled, I did the Fannie Mae restatement. So I traveled to DC weekly and lived a lavish lifestyle in West End hotels and the Ritz. And I mean, y'all 6 figures in expenses one year because it was a year.
Imagine.
And I went around the world and it was great. But it was not for me. And I did always feel insecure in that job because it didn't totally, I'm not an accountant at all, but God gave me that and it was forensic accounting. So I did, yeah. So that I got to learn a lot to transfer over
Well, what a
and
skill to be able to carry that into what you're doing.
it
I
is,
think it's all about life skills. So I said,
yes,
he was prepping you.
he was. And I always was like, I was out of God's will. And then I'm like, oh, no, I wasn't when I came here. So it was, it's fun to see the journey that you take, you know?
Still have frequent flyer points?
No.
Used them all.
I used those up. I didn't have as many of those as I did hotel points.
Mm,
Hotel points was what
oh, yeah.
was where
Oh,
it's
yeah.
at. Starwoods, now there's no Starwoods, Marriott's.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to Bali and it was awesome because Starwood there was like 3,000 points.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm on the beach and, a cabana and I'm like, this is awesome.
I hear it.
So, yeah.
Now you're in Lawrenceville.
And now I'm in Lawrenceville, but it's my stomping grounds, but I do like to travel and get away. COVID made me a more of a mountain girl than anything. So, but
You take your getaways where you can get them, like especially during COVID. It was.
yes, yeah.
Sure.
Well, Carol, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so
you, Carol.
much. This was wonderful. Thank you, Brian. It was
Sorry, we didn't have more people.
It was a pleasure.
We'll get together, I promise.
Ted, it was wonderful. Okay, sounds good. All right,
safe.
Brian.
Is there a light out there?
Yeah, the lights, the torch is on.
Okay, all right. Y'all have a wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving along, well, first of all, I do owe you an apology, Kathryn. I thought that a CPA was an accountant, or an accountant was a CPA.
Most are, but the term has become broader over time, so it's. I don't hold I'm not a certified public accountant. I'm just
Gotcha.
a pain in the butt. I'm not. We spell CPA, certified pain in the.
That's pretty good. I'll have to remember that.
I don't like doing the tax end of it, but like I said, for what she probably needs, and it's like the minute I was like, oh, grants. That's always not fun.
Sounds like a great group to help.
Oh, it's a wonderful organization for sure. And again, I do apologize for my tardiness. Bill is under the weather and I was trying to make sure he was taken care
Oh,
of.
I'm sorry to hear
Disappeared for
that.
a while. Me too.
Uh,
Because it hit him about lunchtime and
Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
All right.
so-
How's the
All right, like I said, he's scheduled to his first official trip with the company is coming up the end of the month, so.
Okay.
He'll be working, they work through, their events are done through Teams, like, so I'll tell you more about it later.
All right.
Want me to blast through these
moving
last
along.
few line items?
Yes. All right. First is a report of cleaning out Pete's garage. We did that successfully. Thank you to those who were able to help with that. Pete and Junior are very appreciative. And we now have a bunch of stuff to go through before August down in the basement. So I think that's great. Um, Kathryn, do you have anything to add about that experience?
No, just that apparently we're still looking for Gloria's keys.
That is a hilarious story.
Did she find them?
No, she hasn't found them. I was standing there yesterday looking for them,
They're not here. I know they're not.
but she got in her house with a code. She didn't have to have a key to get in. She had a code, but she sent me a text and it says, lost my keys. Can I forget exactly what she
It started
requested,
with her texting me.
but it went
But we-
way over Tom's head.
Yeah.
I thought I was talking to Maria.
Oh, Lord.
And I had 2 bags of pecans for Maria. And I said, well, I don't know about your keys, but I got your pecans. And she thought I had her keys.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
So she waits a week waiting for me to get her keys to her. I didn't know anything about the keys. I
No,
felt pretty bad.
Oh, dear.
When she pinged me. So anyway, yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I
Well,
don't, they could certainly be in a box
that-
downstairs. I didn't go through the boxes,
It wouldn't be in a box. She had them around her neck.
but she left here.
Yeah, because I said, that's because we joked because I did lose my keys and we were all running around looking for them. And she said, well, that's why I keep mine around my neck.
Oh, really?
And had them
She took them home then. They're at home then,
So, yeah,
unless they're in your car.
they're not in my car. I mean, like I said, we double checked everything, but it doesn't make sense. Cause like I said, and I asked her specifically, do you need those keys to get in your house? Yes, I need them for everything. I said, then you would have had them Sunday when I dropped you off. How else did you get in your house? That was the logic I had. She never responded that she had a code. So
Huh.
you've already gone down and looked. Yes.
I have gone down and looked. It's no place. I walked around the perimeter downstairs between the 2 doors in the corner.
Yeah.
I didn't see any keys.
Okay. And yeah, it would have been on a lady.
Looking for you.
Yeah, we were, like I said, she had them, as far as I knew, she had them around her neck when we left here, but crazy.
They're in a laundry basket then.
Well, back onto the agenda that actually
Sorry, sir.
segues. It's okay. It segues. Gloria has sent us 3 requests for glasses. 2 of them from the Quinn house, and 1 for a child. As far as the child, I've gotten in touch with the Lighthouse. They have vouchers for VSP that can help us with that purpose. And I have requested vouchers from the Lighthouse. And all I got to do is send them an address, and they'll give us 5 to start with.
Brian,
will
give them my mailing address. If you
Okay.
want.
All right. Would you text me your mailing address, please?
Yes, sir.
So-
Appreciate that.
We don't need to approve these because we have a budget for what, 5 or 6?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, we haven't officially approved the budget.
Well,
That's happening in 2 weeks.
yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, I have with the ones from the Quinn house, because those folks are already vetted.
Yeah.
I have no problem approving those. Where did the child come from?
Let's see. Uh,
They were sending you through the LCI, wasn't it?
let's see. I'm looking through my emails. Hold on. Uh,
Brian, you can tell me later. I just was curious. I mean, if ESP, if we're gonna be able to get vouchers to cover the child, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It says here that the Lions Club sent it to Brian.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's a 6-year-old girl. Her name is Anna Morlero Vivas, and they live in Club Place, Duluth.
yeah.
And what she
I
wanted was help
that.
getting a screening first.
Okay. Well, like I said, we don't have a quorum. Well, we kind of do. There's so few of us, but
Right.
like I said, I have no I mean, I have no problem with, unless somebody else here does that, we go ahead and give Gloria the go ahead to move forward with those two. I know we will have the funds to cover it.
Yeah.
We can apply that against our 2023 budget. Cause I think we're budgeting about $550 or $600.
Yes.
So I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem. So, Brian, unless you have a problem, let's do it.
I definitely don't. So, I don't know. I don't think we need a motion on that either, do we?
Well, we got 3 votes here.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will get back with Gloria and give her the go ahead. And I will give the lighthouse your mailing address. And have the 5 VSP vouchers sent to you. They'll be in the mail tomorrow. So, um, so, great. Um, I'm gonna send you Tom. Tom, I'm gonna send you the um um links to our strides page. So we can start raising money for the strides walk that we're
Okay.
doing on the 6th of May. So we can get that going. Streetwise is on the 11th, is that correct?
That is correct.
That is correct.
Already have a couple commitments so far. So,
As far as I know, Bill and I will be there
okay, good
Good,
deal.
unless
excellent.
he continues to be sick, which I hope.
Well, I'm gonna see.
I hope not.
6 eyes on me.
I know, that's,
Gonna be raining up. We're going.
it always is rainy. It always is that
Well,
time of year.
That's 10 days off though.
Yeah.
You got this.
Weather could change, yeah. Looking at the extended forecast, it was
Yeah.
50% for
I
rain.
kept hoping it would change in New York. It never did. It was just cold.
Was
Mm.
fun, other than cold.
Just cold.
All right, the major thing in new business is about a week or so ago heard from Angela with the Atlanta Caribbean Lions Club asking if she could use our screening machine. And I've been emailing her back and forth, and the ball's right now in her court. Um, I sent her a form to fill out. She said that she was supposed to have a meeting yesterday, finding out exactly when she needed it. She thought it wouldn't be the earliest it would be is Thursday, but probably starting next week. But Pete has the machine, and she would be picking up from him, because uh, Pete's had the machine secure in his house.
Sure. Makes
So-
sense.
I wanted to ask if there was a motion to accept or what would you like to do as far as, would y'all be willing to have her borrow the machine for screening? If she in fact comes back and completes the process.
Do we know how long she'll have it?
She
Like
was
10 days,
talking
isn't it?
in the first 2 weeks of March. And I'm not exactly sure what I think it's a school screening. I think she never said exactly what it was.
Okay.
All
I mean, I have no problem with it.
right. Excellent.
We're not using it.
Right.
I move we let her do it.
I'll say.
All right.
Seconds.
All in favor?
approved.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Everybody
We'll
here?
move on.
We'll even give Ted a vote.
I don't even know what screening machine is.
Oh,
We'll explain it to you.
Is it makes t-shirts or something?
It's a very expensive toy that can do a very, a pass-fail vision screening in about 3 seconds.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty cool machine.
All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much, folks. And
and
we'll have our next meeting on the 14th of March.
back to 7 o'clock.
Yes, back to 7 o'clock.
Okay. Thanks, Brian. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
All right. Talk to you
All right.
later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I really wanted to hear her whole presentation, and I hate that I couldn't get here sooner.
Well, it's recorded.
Good. Watch it.
I told her that you would want to see it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was really excited when we got her booked. Just been that kind of day. And then about 5 o'clock, things got very quiet in the house. As soon as Bill could get off work, he fell into his recliner and I didn't hear a peep out of him for a while. So I had to wake him up to make sure he took some meds and had plenty, had drank something. It hit him like out of nowhere. He said at about 11 o'clock, I got back home at noon and he looked like death warmed over. And I'm like, are you okay? And he goes, I'm trying to hold on till lunch. He said, so I can take a nap during lunch, his lunch hour. And I'm like, okay, which he did. And when he woke up, I said, do you feel any better? No. He managed to muddle through the afternoon.
I have managed to put almost all of our videos on YouTube.
Okay.
The Lawrenceville Lions Club YouTube channel.
Okay, awesome.
And
Now
I'll
that
put
we
this
have
one-
one.
Yeah, and I'll put this one up there too.
Okay,
Probably tomorrow.
no, that's fine.
But I guess it would make sense to categorize those things. So I'll go back and look at different programs.
Yeah, I think you can group them by topic or whatever. I'm not sure, but at least if we name them based on